What's up everyone, me JP2 here, and in today's video we're taking a look at one of my favorite things in Go Battle League, and that is attack boosts paired with nuke moves. Now nuke moves already do a lot of damage, obviously, but if you can boost them, that damage rises a lot. Now running Night Slash is probably the best move here, because Night Slash is able to boost your attack by 2 stages and is quite cheap for a move that can do that. Now it is like a 12.5% chance of happening, so it's not too likely. But when it does happen, it's crazy. That's why I'm running nuke moves on Sandslash and Gligar. I had to run Superior just to pin down the team, because otherwise this team would not do very well into Swampert. So Superior does help cover that. It's a bit of an ABB style team, but that's okay. I can usually bait out whatever can counter Gligar with my Sandslash, and so that allows the team to do pretty good. Now, that's going to be it, and let's hop into the battles. Alright, so hopping into the first battle, we lead Superior into Azumarill. Insanely good lead, so I'd expect the opponent to switch out, and they do. Then switch into Bastiodon. Now, Bastiodon does just do really well into both my ground types, even if it's going to hit for resisted. So I do debuff him first. And now I can bring in Sandslash. Sandslash will still not be taking much damage, and so we can go for Night Slash after Night Slash. I could just one-shot him with the Earthquake, but if I want a boost, I should probably go for the Night Slash. So we do get a boost, which is amazing. And now we can go for another Night Slash to farm him down. They're probably going to bring in the Azu because it does do well into Sandslash. But they don't know that we have a boosted Earthquake. And look at that. That does like 80% of an Azumarill's health. That is crazy. We even get a shield with a Night Slash, and the opponent has to throw here. So this is just the power of boosted nuke moves. It's insane. But so we can farm them down, and in the back they have Vigoroth. Now this just, even if we don't debuff, and we don't, this is still just a cleanup for Gligar, because Gligar just has Night Slash. It's just going to be able to go for Night Slash after Night Slash, and the opponent can't do much about it. Now they do shield the first one, but we're just going to be able to make it to another one. And after this, we can probably go for a farm down. The opponent, I do think, will make it to a move, but I just decided to go for a 2-shield flex. I just decided that's not taking me out. Why should I shield it? So I farmed them down. That's a good game. Hopping in the next battle, we lead Superior into Sylveon. Pretty interesting lead. As always, Superior's leads depend on it getting debuffed. And since we did farm up to the Frenzy plant, they might shield, and they do. They shield, and we get a debuff, so that's the best possible scenario here. Now we can go for another Leaf Tornado, and we get the second shield. I have no idea why this opponent thought that I'd be running Leaf Tornado and Frenzy Plant, but I guess they did. Now I go for another Leaf Tornado. Now I switch into Gligar. I'm hoping I can get some farm, maybe make it to a Night Slash, and have some extra energy to make it to a return or something. Now we farm down the Sylveon, and they bring in Greninja. Now I'm not even boosted here, but look at this. Return just does so much damage, and they do manage to make it to a move, but I can shield this. Now after shielding it, they have a Steelix in the back, so this game's just over. I throw an alignment, kind of a mistake, but it doesn't really matter. We are going to be able to make it to a bunch of moves, and then we switch into Sandslash just to save those moves, because I think we were debuffed there once. I'm not sure. But that move will make sure that we can get the KO, even if Sandslash does die before making it to an Earthquake. Now we make it to an Earthquake, and even though we're double debuffed, Earthquake still takes out the Steelix, and we take that game. Hopping into the next battle, we lead Superior into Talonflame. Terrible lead, so we're going to switch into Gligar. Now, Gligar does pretty well into Talonflame because of the Night Slash spam. And we go for Night Slash, and they shield it. And now we get a boost. I don't know why they'd shield the first one, but now I'm definitely shielding. Now, they're going to make it to another move. They have to throw an alignment here, so I get a free wing attack, but I can just throw 2 and give them 1 free turn of energy while they gave me 2. So this is ideal. Now we get the farm down, and they bring in Malamar. And we go for a boosted return. They're unlikely to shield us. And it one-shots the Malamar. That is a full one-shot right there. And now they have Galvantula on the back. We can go for another Night Slash, and we get a second boost. The opponent has to farm down to win, but they're not doing that. So we can go for a Night Slash and take him out. I'm guessing that if we weren't at the limit, we probably would have gotten another boost there. Anyways, next battle, we lead Superior into Slowbro. And pretty bad lead, especially since they're running Poison Jab. So we switch into Gligar. Now, both of my Pokemon are ground types with Night Slash, so it doesn't really matter which one I switch in, but Gligar should do pretty well. I shield this in case it's a Surf, but it's just a Psychic, and the opponent switches into their own Gligar. And I think you guys know what time it is. Look at this. Gligar's pretty bulky, but it gets one shot. It's insane. These Pokemon, once they're boosted, are crazy. And now, I can bait them here since they've already been traumatized by that boosted return. So they do shield it. And now we can go for another Night Slash. I probably shouldn't have baited there because I wasn't making it to 2 returns, but that extra Night Slash is nice in terms of damage. Now, we will be able to make it to a Leaf Tornado. They do outpace us slightly, but that's fine. We're not getting taken out by anything. So, they can go for a Moonblast. Superior does not care at all. And the Slowbro is just not beating my Sand Slash. I can go for a Night Slash here, and I should be able to make it to another one before they make it to a move that can KO. They do make it to a move here, but even if this is a Psychic or a Surf, it's not taking me out. And they go for a Sludge Bomb. They probably knew it was over, so we take that game. Next battle, we lead Superior into Pidgeot. So this is terrible. So I'm going to have to switch into Sand Slash because Gligar does better, and I don't want to switch into my harder counter. For some reason, I missed the Excellent on that Night Slash, but that doesn't matter too much. The opponent then proceeds to switch into Jellicent, and that's actually very good for us. I can probably shield and commit both my shields and beat the Jellicent. And so they're going to go for a move. I can just shield this, though, and I'll be able to make it to plenty of Night Slashes. Now, I'm going to overfarm by 1 to make sure I throw on good timing. And the opponent has to shield if they want to keep the Jellicent alive. And they do shield. And I can take advantage of the misaligned switch timers and switch into my Superior, saving a shield and catching their Surf. Now, they can probably bring back in the Pidgeot, but we'll be able to go for a Leaf Tornado first. And if this does get a debuff, which it doesn't, it would have been nice, but it doesn't matter too much. They have to go for a Brave Bird to take us out, and they go for a Feather Dance. That means the Leaf Tornado won't do a lot of damage, but we're still going to be able to debuff them if we get the debuff. We, of course, don't because I love this game, but it doesn't matter too much. And the opponent switches into Galarian Stunfisk. Now, they do get the Snipe on Superior, which is unfortunate, but they only farmed up to a Rock Slide, and Sand Slash lives that. So now I can go for an Earthquake. And Earthquake does huge damage, and we can just switch into Gligar and completely farm him down. Now, the opponent does have a ton of energy on the Pidgeot, but they go for a Feather Dance, and that's just not going to do a lot of damage. It does get a debuff, but they're low enough that doesn't matter. Now, I'm assuming they're going to go for a Brave Bird here, because that's their only win con, and we shield it so they can see the match. Hopping to the next battle, we lead Superior into Umbreon. Battle of the bulky Pokemon, but if Superior can get a debuff, it just wins. I do throw on Alignment. I had expected them to throw on CMP, but they didn't, which is unfortunate, but we get a debuff, so their energy is not going to matter too much anymore anyways. They go for a Psychic, so I'm assuming that's why they farmed up 5. But we can just go for a Leaf Tornado. And Leaf Tornado gets a second debuff. Very nice. It's not going to have any risk of taking him out. But that Foul Play does nothing now. Their 4 stage is debuffed. And if I had Frenzy Plant, this would be preferable to use it now because I can't debuff him anymore. But that's the cost of running Leaf Tornado. I can't really hit for too much meaningful damage with a single charge move. The opponent then switches into Drapion. And we can go for another Leaf Tornado. Opponent no shields it, obviously. But now we get a debuff. So now, even if they have Aqua Tail, it's not doing much. They go for a Sludge Bomb. It's resisted. I have no idea why they did that, especially if they're throwing after 5 here, so they have Crunch. So I have no idea why they were throwing Sludge Bombs, but whatever. Now we go for Night Slash. We actually get a shield, surprisingly, and we get a boost. So now, all of a sudden, this match is looking really good. Now, they no shield the second one, and they do make it to another move. But I'm going to shield it now because I should be able to make it to an Earthquake. They get a defense drop, which is unfortunate. And then they bring in the Umbreon. I'm assuming they just want to force me to throw. So I will. I go for a farm down. I don't get it, unfortunately. But we can go down a shield. It's fine. Gligar can still do pretty well. In the back, they have a Zoomerl. We get a slight frame drop there for some reason. It doesn't affect anything. But Earthquake does a ton of damage again. We can switch into Superior, force him to throw. At this point, I decided that fast move pressure is better than going for moves because they have a shield. They're going to shield it. So fast move pressure alone will be able to take this game. Hopping into the next battle, we lead Superior into Probopass. Interesting lead. I do have 2 better responses in the back, but I'm just going to go for a Leaf Tornado. Maybe I can get a debuff on him. And we do get a debuff, and that's nice. Now, the opponent is going to go for a move. They're debuffed. Superior will not have to respect it. And now I can probably switch out soon, but I'm going to go for another Leaf Tornado. Now, this Leaf Tornado is going to not get a debuff, and we can switch into Sand Slash. The opponent then switches into Galarian Stun... Sorry, is that a Unova Stunfisk? I'm totally used to saying Galarian Stunfisk. But yeah, it's a Unova Stunfisk, and we do huge damage with the Earthquake. And now, they're not going to be able to take me out with the charge move, so we get the farm down. The opponent has to send in a Pokemon. They send in the Probopass, and this Rock Slide is not taking me out. We hit for double super effective with the Mud Shot, so we get the farm down. And in the back, they have Granbull. I go for a Night Slash. I don't know why exactly, but they shield it, so it doesn't matter. And then we can bring in Serperior. We have Energy. And this Leaf Tornado gets a shield and gets the debuff, so that's just GG's right there. We can make it to another Leaf Tornado. Getting a debuff is not important anymore. We can switch into Gligar. And Gligar should be able to just farm him down if we really want to. They make it to a move. Crunch, not going to do anything because they're debuffed. And I just go for fast move pressure. It seems a bit disrespectful. Whatever. Anyways, next battle we lead Serperior into Azu. Once again, very good lead. So the opponent switches into Pelipper. Once again, this is a Pokemon that does pretty well into my backline, so I do have to stay in. And we get a shield. So we also get a debuff. But now that we're up a shield and they're debuffed, we can tank a Weather Ball. And we should be able to make it to a bunch of Night Slashes. Now I'm going to shield this because I do want to preserve at least some HP. But I can make it to the back-to-back Night Slashes. And the opponent probably shouldn't shield the first one. And they don't. Now we can go for another one. I overfarm by one wing attack because they're not going to make it to a move. We go for a second Night Slash to take them out. And we get an attack boost. So this is looking really good now. The opponent's going to send in the Azumarill. But I don't think they know that we have a boosted return. If they shield this, it's really bad. And they do. So all of a sudden, this is not as good because they got a huge shield. So now I can bring in Serperior, but the opponent then has a Medicham in the back. And I don't think I need to use a shield to win this matchup. I go for a Night Slash, just hoping that I can maybe get a boost. But I don't get a boost. And I am going to use my shield here because Ice Punch would do a lot of damage. But now we can just go for an Earthquake. I do think that was a CMP tie there. So we go for the Earthquake. We take off the Medicham. And we're going to force the Azu to go for a move. Now we can just bring in Serperior. They're going to make it to a move, but Ice Beam won't take us out because Azu's not very attack weighted. So now we'll be able to make it to a Leaf Tornado. But we just have to hope that we can make it to a second one because even quad debuff and Ice Beam would take us out at this range. And Serperior does win CMP, so this opponent lost 2 CMP ties and lost the game because of it. Hopping into the next battle, we lead Serperior into Greninja, dominating lead. So the opponent's going to switch into Skeledirge. And my ground types with Night Slash, this team just does really well into Skeledirge because of that. Now I do shield the Shadow Ball because that would do some nice damage to me. But now I can go for tons of Night Slashes. The opponent shields the first one, but we can just farm by 2, make sure we throw on good timing, go for a second Night Slash. And they shouldn't shield that one. But since we get a boost here, now I am going to be the one who shields again. Now the opponent's probably going to send in the Greninja because water type into ground type. And I don't think they know that we have Earthquake. And look at this. Pop. There goes the Greninja. In the back, they have Chestnut. And we can go for a Leaf Tornado. I don't even care about the shield here, but we get it anyways. We don't get a debuff, which is unfortunate, but they can't KO us with a single move. If they go for Superpower, Aerial Ace takes us out. So they have to go for a Frenzy Plant, and that's not taking me out. So we can go for an Aerial Ace, and the Chestnuts are just way too low to do anything. So we take that game. Hopping into the next battle, we lead Serperior into Clodsire. Clodsire, I didn't see too much of it, surprisingly. But the times I did see it, it was an interesting Pokemon to run into. Now we go for a Leaf Tornado, we don't get a debuff. I try to catch the Sludge Bomb on the Gligar, but I don't get the catch. And now they actually have Water Pulse. Water Pulse is a terrible move, but it just does well into most of my team because it has Water Pulse. The opponent then switches into Venusaur, so obviously their backline's not going to do too well against Gligar. We can go for a Night Slash. We'll be able to make it to another Night Slash before they even make it to one Frenzy Plant. So they do shield that one. And we can go for another Night Slash. Now, this Night Slash will not be taking him out. And I'm not about to use my last shield on Gligar, so we let ourselves get taken out. But now we should be able to make it to a move. But I make a huge mistake here, and I don't throw on CM. And I don't throw before they make it to a move. I do throw on CMP. That's terrible because I lose energy, and the opponent has a Swampert in the back, so we're just not winning this. They're going to be able to make it to way too many charge moves. My only hope is like bait with a Night Slash and then see if I maybe I can win CMP or something. But they don't even shield the Night Slash, so we're just not winning this battle, unfortunately. They do shield the second Night Slash. We get a boost. That boost just feels disrespectful to me. But we get taken out, and Serperior is just way too low, so we lose that game. Hopping into the next battle, Elite Superior into Golbat. Terrible lead. So we're going to switch immediately to Gligar. The opponent's going to go for a Poison Fang. I'm just assuming this is because they want to soften up the Gligar before they switch into a different Pokemon. They bring in Cherim, and I should not have just gone straight for the return because I do have Aerial Ace, so they're probably going to shield the first move anyway. Now, Weather Ball still probably won't take us out, even with the debuff. And they do make it to a Night Slash. Now, Night Slash is not going to take them out, but they do shield it anyways, which is surprising. Now, they go for another move. They totally could have farmed me down, but that's fine. I switch into Sand Slash because Sand Slash will be able to make it to a Night Slash before they make it to a Weather Ball. And we don't get a boost, unfortunately. And the opponent switches in the Golbat. Now, I'm happy they brought in the Golbat, but also slightly confused because of how dominating of a matchup it has against Superior. I am going to shield this move because I don't really care if it's a Shadow Ball or not. I just need to preserve health. They bring in Ariados, and all of a sudden this matchup's not looking terrible. Now, I switch into Superior trying to catch a move, but I don't. I'm basically just fully sacrificing the Superior here because it has absolutely no play versus their team except for this Aerial Ace. So, now that they know I have Aerial Ace, they're going to have to throw, and that's absolutely perfect for me. So they have to go for a Cross Poison. They don't get a boost, but I can bring in Sand Slash again. Sand Slash will make it to another Night Slash. We can take him out with that, and I'll make it to the back-to-back Night Slash. I wasn't sure if Earthquake would take him out because it was resisted. I think it would have barely not, and I would have lost the game. So going for the back-to-back Night Slashes is just safer. So we take that game. I just love running boosted nuke moves. I don't really care what nuke moves it is. It can be Poltergeist, Zap Cannon, Blizzard, Solar Beam, Earthquake, Return. Doesn't matter. When they're boosted, type effectiveness can get ignored. So that's a lot of fun. Now, I was really just overall impressed with how my Sand Slash, despite not being a very meta pick, still did pretty well into most of the meta. So I was happy with that. Anyways, that's it for today's video. And make sure to stay tuned because I'm going to try and get a video out with a new level 50 Pokemon I've made. So make sure to stick around for that sometime. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.